Hey everyone, yeah, I'm back. It's been a miserable few weeks for me without sim racing while I've recovered from a burst eardrum, but I've decided I'm ready to dip my toe back in the water. It's Assetto Corsa Competizione on Low Fuel Motorsport, and it's a GO Setups GT3 Sprint at Spa. A classic sim racing combo if ever there was one. Now I'm still not feeling 100% and I'm very rusty, so please don't expect any miracles here. Today is all about finding my feet again and finishing the race. I'll be starting all the way down in P17 on a stacked grid of 29, so I'm really up against it here. It's like the good old days in ACC where even a top 15 finish is going to be tough. Can I get one? Well, let's find out. Well, it's my first race in nearly a month and it is underway because the lights are green here at Spa. I've had a better getaway than a lot of the drivers around me. I've managed to pull alongside Florian Rampy in that black and green Lamborghini, but realistically there's not going to be too much progress I can make through Eau Rouge and Radillon. In fact, I winced as I went side by side with the other Lambo through that section. Thankfully we both got through it cleanly. However, I have lost a lot of momentum coming down the Kemmel Straight. I had to hug a really tight line through Eau Rouge and it cost me some exit speed, but no doubt I'll close right back in as the pack concertinas together at the end of the straight. I'm actually going to be under attack. Roberto Ciudad in the McLaren side by side. There was a little bit of contact there as Ciudad forced his way up the inside. I think I'm going to have to surrender this position. There is no way to hold on to P17, so I'm down now into 18th. And Jesus Celorio having a sniff up the inside as well. Oh, there's a bit more contact. That forces me out a bit wider than I would have liked. Celorio is going to take the position as well, so I am getting properly beaten up here on the opening lap at Spa. Well, I said I was going to be rusty. This is my first time in the rig for nearly 1 month, but I am going to have to toughen up quick here if I'm going to survive this race. I've already been muscled out of 2 positions. I've dropped from 17th to 19th, and it could yet get worse because I'm under pressure now from Vincent Chupin. Oh, crash ahead, I've got to be careful here, but I get barged right into the path of the accident in front. I've got no choice but to take to the runoff area to get around it, and that has cost me big time. I mean, there was a route to get through safely on the inside, but unfortunately for me, the Porsche of Chupin was already on the inside. He elbowed me out right into the path of that accident. I had no choice but to abort, and it has cost me several positions. I'm down to P24. Well, the original spinner was the number 11 BMW of Juan Costas. Costas started P6 on the grid, and he's now challenging for the top 4 when he gets tagged from behind and spun around. Now, I thought I'd spotted a safe route through on the inside, but I didn't account for the Porsche of Vincent Chupin behind me. We're riding on board with Chupin now as he tries a late move up the inside into this right-hander. He takes a bit too much of the curb. That pushes him out into my line, and it forces me out even wider and right into the danger zone. One final look from the chopper cam then. There's Chupin's move. It nudges me right into the path of the stricken BMW, costing me 5 positions. Back to the live action then. At the end of lap 1, I'm down into P24, and it is going to get worse. Once again, I'm caught napping. I didn't see Pedro Santos in the rearview mirror making that late move into the bus stop chicane. There's more heavy contact as we go side by side, exiting the turn, but Santos is going to be carrying a little bit more momentum in that Ferrari. He is going to get to the source first, which is putting me down into P25. And yeah, my lack of track time has been well and truly exposed on this opening lap at Spa. I have been beaten up good and proper. I've dropped 8 positions, starting 17th, currently in 25th, but I may get 24th back. I had a better run than Pedro Santos down the hill, and sure enough, I do get to Eau Rouge ahead of the Ferrari, so that puts me back into P24. Oh, big crash! I'm going to be lucky to survive this, and somehow I managed to squeeze past. How did I not get collected in that melee? It looks like every other car behind me did. Oh, no damage except to the underwear there. Well, let's take another look to see how this all came about. We're watching the number 15 Ferrari of David Sordi, who gets it all wrong coming out of Radillon. He's a sitting duck. Oh, he gets hit by 1, 2, 3 cars. That's me getting past, and then 3 more cars plow into him. Unbelievable. 6 drivers wiped out. We're riding on board with Jesus Celorio now in the Porsche. He's right behind these battling BMWs. He's got no time to react. As soon as the gap opens up, he sees there's a red Ferrari parked horizontally there, nowhere to go, and that is a huge wreck. No fewer than 7 drivers crashing out here. We're watching it one more time. And we can see just how fortunate I was. That's me getting past right there. I'm the only car to get through. Everyone else crashes out. So that's put me back up into 21st position. I am quite a way behind the cars in front, but I will get a couple of freebies. We're starting by watching Florian Rampy in the Lamborghini. Now Rampy is just exiting the final chicane now, but he's going to get spun around from behind. So Rampy facing the wrong way at the final turn. The yellow flags are out as I approach the corner. Hopefully Rampy won't have rejoined by the time I get around. No, he hasn't done. So that's one position gained straight away up into P20. Jumping forward to the next lap, and I'm closing in on the cars in front. However, in front of them, there is an almighty battle going on between the number 4 Ferrari of Didier Lebranca and the number 1 Ferrari of Leandro Lima. Well, that's Lima in the white moving alongside Lebranca. The elbows are out between those two. There's even bigger contact there. And Brian Brebion in the McLaren behind them is getting involved too. Brebion giving Lima a nudge. It doesn't seem to have bothered Lima though, because he's actually made the overtake on Lebranca now, so Lima through. Meanwhile behind him there's contact. Brebion running into the rear of Didier Lebranca, and that black Ferrari is out. And that is one of the race's big hitters we've lost. Didier Lebranca started on the front row of the grid. But his loss is my gain. I am now up into P19 and in hot pursuit of the BMW ahead. It's Alexander Kalashnikov. He's 1 second in front at the moment, but I suspect I'll close in quite rapidly into the bus stop chicane, because there is a pack of 5 or 6 cars battling closely with each other here. They're going to be slowing each other down, and sure enough, I am right on the tail of Kalashnikov now. Well, before this race started, I was wondering if I could possibly challenge for a top 15 finish. Well, that has got to be the aim now. I can see P15 and P14 within my sights, and there are still more than 17 minutes left on the clock. So plenty of time still in hand. Let's not do anything daft. Let's remain patient. I'm growing in confidence with every lap, and I am now putting Kalashnikov under all sorts of pressure. And he might just have cracked because he took way too much of the curb on the inside. That catapulted his BMW out to the runoff area. That is another position gained. I'm going to weave past one of the back markers as well. I'm up into P18. Well, we're jumping forward now from lap 4 to lap 5, and you'll see that P18 has become P17. That's because there was a drive-through penalty for Vincent Chupin. Meanwhile, I'm getting closer to the cars in front, and there's a sideways Ferrari right in front of me. Massimo Belloni getting that corner all wrong. I'm going to challenge around the outside. There's no way through there, though, so I'm just going to have to back out a little bit. But I'm now putting Belloni under a lot of pressure. Well, yeah, P15 is certainly within my sights now, within 1 second. Brian Brebion currently in 15th, but he's only 0.7 of a second ahead. In between us is Belloni. And time is still on my side. We're only a half race distance, so I'm going to try as hard as I possibly can to get this top 15 finish. A top 15 after a month out would be a great result. Into the bus stop chicane then. Lucas Backmeyer in the black Porsche running in really deep. Brebion follows him in, and I might be able to try a switchback to challenge Belloni here. I've got a much better exit out of the chicane. I'm carrying more momentum down the straight, but I don't think it's going to do me any good because I'm going to be on the outside full of sauce. So I am just going to back out of this one. Try and take the turn as tight as I possibly can. Brebion getting his line all wrong through the sauce. There was me thinking I might be able to challenge Belloni on exit. Instead, it's Belloni challenging Brebion. Oh, this battle is starting to simmer over now. Things are getting good here at Spa. If I can nail my line through Eau Rouge and Radlon, I may be able to challenge down the Kemmel Straight. However, it doesn't feel like I'm quite close enough. Even with the tow, I don't think I've got the pace to get alongside Belloni's Ferrari. So I'm just going to stay where I am for now, tuck back in behind the Ferrari. I think my best bet might be to try and put him under pressure. We've already seen him get sideways a couple of times. He's sideways again there. Well, I said this battle was simmering, and it looks like Belloni is starting to feel the heat. He is under pressure and he's making mistakes, so this is an encouraging sign. It's important now that I stay as close as I possibly can. I've got to breathe down Belloni's neck. I've got to make him feel every bit of this pressure. Let's not forget about what's going on behind as well, because Andreas Winkler is now within 1 second. Winkler taking full advantage of this battle. We're slowing each other down here as we tussle for these positions, and Winkler has closed right in. Another mistake from Belloni.
It's opened up a gap on the inside as we exit Pujon, but the odds are against me here because I'm going to be on the outside for this right-hander. However, I have got the speed to get to the apex first. I slide into the corner a bit more than I would have liked, but I've made the pass. That is me up into P16. So next on my list of targets is P15. However, it was going to come far easier than I expected. On the next lap, Lucas Backmeyer in that black Porsche gets it all wrong at the end of the Kemmel Straight. He's carrying too much speed, loses the rear and slides out into the grass. So that gifted me the top 15 that I've worked so hard to get. But there are still more than 6 minutes of the race left. Can I hold on to it, or can I go even better? Well, not if Massimo Belloni has anything to do with it. Look in the rearview mirror. Belloni is a few tenths behind now, but he is going to make a late move up the inside into the bus stop chicane. I'll try and leave him space. There's contact. Belloni pushes me out wide onto the curb, and it looks like Belloni has gone. Oh, a regrettable incident there. Did I leave Belloni enough space? We're watching it again, riding on board with Belloni. He's going to make a late move up the inside. Now, I saw him coming. I tried to leave him a car's width on the inside, but he was running in quite hot. But I think from this camera angle it shows that he would have just about got it stopped and made the turn had I just left him a couple of inches more room. It was the slightest of touches, but it was enough to wipe his nose out. So that's put me in a comfortable P15, but it's going to get better as we go past the pits. I get promoted up into P14, and it could get better still because the yellow flags are out. Have we lost someone else at Radlon? Yes, we have. So all of a sudden I've gained 2 positions and I'm up into P13. And both freebies were gained from identical mistakes. The first one came from Quinton Gathot in the black Ferrari. Gets it all wrong coming out over Radlon. Gets too much of the curb on the outside and careers into the barrier. And then just moments later we will see the exact same mistake, this time from the number 1 driver, Leandro Lima, clipping the very same curb and hitting the very same barrier. 2 more positions for me. I'm up into P13. Approaching the end of lap 10 then, we're going to get one more lap after this one, and I think now it's safe to say my P13 is pretty much sewn on. Andreas Winkler's behind in 14th, but he's nearly 4 seconds back, so there's no real pressure behind. Instead, I can concentrate on Brian Bremion ahead and maybe getting 12th position. Well, if I'm going to do it, I've only got one more lap to do it in. I certainly feel like I've got a little bit more pace than the McLaren driver, but whether it's enough extra pace to get past him, well, that remains to be seen. My first opportunity to make the pass is going to be the Kemmel Straight, but to do that I've got to be closer than I am now. I've got to be right on the tail of that McLaren coming up out of Radlon. I don't think I'm quite close enough. So instead I'm going to have to use the toe to get as close as I possibly can. I need to be breathing down the neck of Bremion. Currently he's taking the defensive line, but I think he's just realised he's far enough ahead to get to this corner at the end of the straight ahead of me. So for now I'm just going to tuck back in behind the McLaren, try and put him under as much pressure as I possibly can. Maybe Bremion has got a mistake in him. Although at the moment it looks like he's found a bit of extra pace. He was really quick through that section and he's opened up a few tenths, now 0.5 of a second the advantage. I'm going to close back in a little bit through this hairpin, but at the moment I think Bremion's just got that little bit extra up his sleeve to pull away, but he's sideways through No Name Corner. This is my opportunity. He's managed to hold on to it just, but I'm going to pull alongside now. I'm going to have the outside line for Pujon. It's important that I leave a car's width on the inside. Oh, I get a big slide on. I run off track. Bremion's run off track too. The tyres are screaming for mercy, but I've managed to stay alongside Bremion with half a car length advantage. I am going to get to this corner first and take 12th position. Oh no, we've been hit! Big contact, I'm out into the gravel. Bremion's collected me from behind. I've managed to get back on track, but Winkler has got past. And no sooner do I grab that 12th position, it gets snatched away from me. Let's check out the replay. Well, at this point I thought I had it in the bag. I got to the apex first, I closed off the corner, but yeah, I get nudged from behind. Bremion carrying a bit more corner speed by the looks of it, drove right into the back of me. On board with Bremion now. And as we enter Pujon, I was aware that he was on my inside, so I knew I had to leave a bit of space there so that we could both get through safely. I ran out a bit wide, so did Bremion. At this point, I've got the advantage. I make it to the apex first, but Bremion's wider entry means he can get on the gas quicker, and it's just a misjudgment. He's faster out of the corner. He misjudges it and runs into the back of me. So an unfortunate mistake, but no hard feelings whatsoever. Brian messaged me as soon as the race had finished to apologise profusely, and there was no problem from my side, just one of those things in the heat of battle. So I crossed the line in P13. Sure, it could have been P12, but I'm not going to grumble with P13. I said at the start of the race, anything inside the top 15 I'd be happy with. So what else can I say apart from one thing? It is good to be back. I want to thank you all for your patience and support over these past few weeks. Thanks for not unsubscribing, and I promise there will be more videos on the way. In the meantime, if you want to watch some more ACC LFM action, check out the video on screen now. It is a cracker. Thank you ever so much for watching, and I'll look forward to seeing you again very soon. Cheers for now.